This is a motorcycle and rickshaw factory of Bajaj Auto Limited. Bajaj Auto is the world's third largest manufacturer of motorcycles and the second largest in India. Right now, you're watching the casting and pressing of parts for the engine and gearbox. Bajaj Motors has 4 main factories in India where motorcycles are manufactured. Right now, you are looking at the largest Chakan plant in the Pune area. It manufactures premium motorcycles and exports. The main models that are manufactured here are Boxer, Pulsar, Dominar, and KTM. It is one of the most advanced plants in India. It collaborates in the production of KTM and Husqvarna vehicles. It is the world's largest three-wheeler manufacturer. Last year, Bajaj Auto crossed a market capitalization of $14 billion, making it the world's most valuable two-wheeler company. These huge casting and pressing machines work according to models modeled in computers. They can then produce hundreds of pieces every day. Each component is millimeter by millimeter computer, modeled and optimized for maximum efficiency and minimum production costs. Bajaj Auto employs over 10,000 people directly across its manufacturing units. Thousands more are engaged indirectly through contractual labor, vendors, suppliers, and logistics partners. Historically, Bajaj Auto has had strong labor unions, especially at the Qute and Chakan plants. There have been instances of labor strikes over wage agreements and job security, but these have generally led to structured negotiations and settlements. You're looking at a huge warehouse of motorcycle frames right now. These are stored here and will be transported to the main assembly line at the ideal time. At the same time as the engine frames are being produced in one part of the factory, the entire engines are being assembled in another part of the factory at the same time. And now you're looking at the main assembly line. This is where the motorcycle frames and engines are assembled together on a moving belt. Workers in this factory slowly add springs, wheels, and drive chains to the motorcycle frame and gradually assemble the entire motorcycle. After wiring, adding the fuel tank and handlebars, these Bajaj Boxer motorcycles can leave the main assembly line. Now the bikes will move to the dyno to test their performance. This dynamometer is a device for simultaneously measuring the torque and RPM of a motorcycle engine. Next to the factory is a test track where test drivers will test handling, turn signals, horns, and other parameters. Inside this factory, there is also a packing line where finished motorcycles or even just frames and engines being shipped to other Bajaj Motors factories are prepared for shipment. Proper and safe packaging is a key activity that must prevent possible damage during transport. Labeling the boxes is also an important element. But now you're watching the pressing of steel coils with giant pressing machines. As you have probably already noticed, the body parts of the rickshaws are molded here. Bajaj's main rickshaw manufacturing plant in India is the Waluj plant. It serves as the primary production center for three-wheelers, including petrol, diesel, LPG, and CNG models. The Pantnagar plant also produces a significant number of three-wheelers, primarily serving the northern and eastern regions of India. Rickshaws made in India are exported to over 40 countries, including Egypt, Nigeria, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Peru, and others. Models are often customized for local regulations, left-hand drive versions, fuel compatibility, or climate conditions. Right now you are watching the main assembly line where the typical yellow and green rickshaws of Bajaj are assembled. The headlights, dashboard, wheels, wiring harness, mirrors, and engine are gradually assembled on the main frame. Hundreds of new rickshaws are produced every day in this factory. After leaving the assembly line, they are started for the first time and transported to the testing department, where they are adjusted and certified. Thousands of rickshaws are then parked in a huge hall and then transported to dealerships all over India. A large number are also exported to neighboring countries in Asia. Output quality control is an important element in the production chain. No defect or damage to the bodywork may be found. Bajaj rickshaws are rugged, durable, and built to last, perfect for India's varied terrain and tough urban conditions. They require low maintenance, which is ideal for daily commercial use. Workers in the factory work in teams. Each workstation has a supervisor who is responsible for the work and quality. The packaging of finished rickshaws is done in this factory in an automated and very efficient way using a box and plastic wrapping. Bajaj rickshaws have long been a familiar sight on Indian roads, especially in urban and semi-urban areas. Their compact size makes them perfectly suited for navigating congested city streets and narrow lanes, allowing for quick and efficient transport in crowded environments. They are widely used as auto rickshaws, taxis, serving millions of commuters daily. But this is the factory of a luxury Indian motorcycle manufacturer, Royal Enfield. Royal Enfield operates several expansive motorcycle manufacturing facilities in India, primarily located around Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Royal Enfield's Indian factories are capable of producing over 500,000 motorcycles per year. This factory is a huge production complex, which consists of several main parts. Let's take a look at the comparison with Bajaj Motors manufacturing plants together. Royal Enfield holds the record as the world's oldest motorcycle brand, still in production, originally established in the UK in 1901. Its Indian chapter began in 1955, and by 1994 it became fully Indian-owned under Eicher Motors. As of recent capacity expansions, a new Royal Enfield motorcycle is produced approximately every 50 seconds. Despite automation, many elements are still assembled by hand, including engine fitting, wiring, and fuel tank painting, preserving the handcrafted legacy of the brand. Royal Enfield manufactures all its motorcycles in state-of-the-art factories near Chennai, Oragadam, Valamvadagal, and the upcoming Cheyyar plant. These factories cover over 150 acres combined, and are among the most advanced motorcycle production units in India. Royal Enfield supports custom builders and has its own in-house team for personalization and design collaborations, including limited edition builds. The iconic Royal Enfield Bullet, first introduced in 1932, is the longest-running motorcycle model in continuous production. There's been a conscious effort to increase the participation of women on the factory floor, especially in roles like quality assurance, component assembly, and precision inspection. Royal Enfield has created inclusive environments to support women in industrial roles, which is still relatively uncommon in the Indian auto sector. Royal Enfield employs thousands of factory workers, technicians, engineers, and R&D professionals across its manufacturing and testing facilities in Oragadam, Valamvadagal, and Chennai. The Royal Enfield and Bullet names were derived from the British company, which had been a subcontractor to the Royal Small Arms Factory in Enfield, London. The Bullet marque is even older and has passed 75 years of continuous production. It has been long associated with the police and armed forces in India, and owning one is considered a privilege by most Indians and continues to remain ever popular in India. Welding in this factory is largely carried out using robotic welding arms. You are now looking at dipping the fuel tank into the anti-corrosion solution. Royal Enfield's motorcycle production in India is a blend of heritage craftsmanship and modern engineering. While the company has British roots, all its motorcycles today are 100% designed, developed, and manufactured in India, primarily in Tamil Nadu. Every Royal Enfield motorcycle sold globally, including the Meteor, Classic, Bullet, Hunter, Himalayan, and Super Meteor, is manufactured in India. The upcoming Cheyyar plant will support EV production, with Royal Enfield planning to launch its first electric model soon. As you can see for yourself, the workers inside the factory are dressed in work suits with the company logo. They wear protective gloves and, in the welding shop, safety goggles and helmets. At the end of the production line, after a final quality check, the bikes are also polished to ensure they leave the factory in the best possible condition. Please let me know in the comment section what you think of Royal Enfield motorcycles compared to Bajaj motorcycles. Now you can compare the processes in Indian factories with Japanese precision in a Suzuki factory in the middle of Japan.
This is the Suzuki Hayabusa factory tour. It is manufactured at the Hamamatsu plant in Japan. The Suzuki motorbike manufacturing process begins with the future appearance in the design office. The clay model brings the curves and three-dimensional design to life in a way that cannot be portrayed through diagrams. Clay modeling is still used because it is a tried and tested method that has proven to be the most effective, nice and easy. Parts made by casting and forging are polished by machining to produce finished parts for engines. Now human workers must assemble all the parts together. The Suzuki Hayabusa engine is built with the highest precision and attention to perfection, made in Japan. This is the frame manufacturing process. Frame parts are automatically welded by robots. The frame is coated with an anti-corrosion coating followed by a top coat of paint. The entire painting process is handled by robotic arms that spray paint evenly onto the parts. In the fuel tank manufacturing process, a stamping machine is used to form the basic shape of the fuel tank by punching and bending steel plates. Automatic welding is then carried out on the stamped parts. This is how the fuel tank is made. After the fuel tanks are painted, the worker glues on the name and decorations. In the injection molding process, metal molds press form heated plastic to make cowls and other external parts. The individual parts of the bike are moved across the factory on moving belts. Now begins the main assembly line at the Suzuki factory, where all the parts of the bike will come together. All parts, such as the engine, brakes, tank, meters, seat, and tires, are assembled onto the painted frame to complete the motorcycle. Most of the parts are simply clamped onto the frame of the bike. The future bikes move on sliding tracks. It takes only 1 day to produce a single Suzuki motorcycle. Thousands are made here every day. The fully assembled motorcycle undergoes a thorough visual check to make sure there are no scratches on the exterior and seat. The completed motorcycle undergoes a final inspection for performance, functions, and so on. Only motorcycles that pass these inspections are shipped out. Rigorous bench tests are carried out to assess durability to vibrations, drops, and other impacts. This is what it looks like to test a bike's impact on the ground or its resistance to rough roads and tracks. Suzuki bikes have to withstand big potholes in the road. That's what they're tested for in this special lab. Performance and exhaust emissions testing is a matter of course. The choice of color combination takes many weeks and must match the overall style of the Suzuki motorbikes. Suzuki employs over 70,000 people worldwide, mostly in Japan. Riding tests are carried out in pursuit of optimized tuning by riders to realize Suzuki-style performance and operability. The motorcycle must also be able to pass through deep water without problems up to the level of the exhaust. Everything is tested by trained technicians at the Suzuki factory. Repeated tests are carried out under a variety of road, climate, and use conditions around the world in pursuit of reliability. These rigorous tests are repeated while the design and structure are also reviewed over and over again in developing Suzuki Hayabusa. Many riders have found that the Hayabusa lends itself well to any number of functional purposes, including competitive motorsports. The Hayabusa has been used in sanctioned closed-course road racing, drag racing, and top-speed competition. When finished motorcycles are shipped from the factory overseas, mirrors and other parts are removed to facilitate transportation. The parts and body are also enclosed in a metal frame to fix everything firmly in place, then packaged to prevent damage during shipment. Motorcycles produced at this Suzuki factory in Hamamatsu are shipped all over Japan and the world. A very common client is motorcyclists from Europe or the United States. Across Japan, however, these motorbikes are usually transported by train. Molten metal is press-formed by forging to make gears, shafts, and other parts. In the engine manufacturing process, metal heated to a molten state in a furnace is poured into molds in a casting process to form cylinder heads and other parts. The Suzuki GSX 1.300R Hayabusa is a sports motorcycle since 1999. This engine is mated to a 6-speed sequential manual transmission with constant mesh timing and slipper clutch. This is how engineers test and develop the look and feel of the latest model. Clay modeling is a very effective way to find out the advantages and disadvantages of certain shapes. Suzuki side feed injectors feature a new dual injector design that positions the secondary injector so its spray strikes a reflecting plate in the funnel and enters the combustion chamber as a fine mist. Over the years, this superbike has undergone a number of innovations and is virtually unlike the original model. Immediately after its launch, it gained recognition as the fastest production motorcycle in the world with a top speed of 188 to 194 miles per hour. This is how you test a bike's peak performance. Extreme performance testing goes into the development of the latest generation. Now you can see the difference in the catalytic converter. Horsepower enhancements like nitrous injection, which can add 100 brake horsepower, and turbocharging, which can raise power to more than 600 brake horsepower, are common. Please let me know in the comments section how you like this bike. So this was the manufacturing process of one of the world's fastest bikes, the Suzuki Hayabusa, in the Japanese factory where the largest number of these great machines are produced.